Hello, everybody, and welcome to Florida with 5 live stream 24. Number 24 already, guys. I am going to go ahead and get the description written and everything. Let all you guys get in here. And we got a very special guest tonight. Give me a second, everybody. Sorry, I apologize. Let's put a thumbnail on here, get all official. Okay, copy the link, probably send out some invites to people here. We got 14 watchers already. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Tony. Hello, Kristen. Got some regulars in here. That is awesome to see. Okay, what is going on? We don't want that. We don't want that. We want this. Everybody see me? I don't know why it's showing not me on the screen. Hey, Tonka, how you doing? Copy this link. I apologize, guys. It takes a little bit to get this going. I'm just trying to share this out so we can get as many people in here as possible. Give me a second, guys. See, it says iPhone on there. I apologize, guys. Give me a second. We'll get this all squared away. How's everybody doing tonight? Anybody moving this weekend? Hi, Claudia. Hi, Elaine. Hi, that girl, Daisy. All right, we're getting up there. 21 viewers. I want to wait a second to introduce our special guest tonight. Does anybody have any guesses of who it could be? All right, one more share. One more share, and then you got all my attention. Okay, here I am. No one's moving this weekend? Come on, Sarah, why not? I got my White Russian. Things are about to get crazy. But anyway, like I said, we have a very special guest tonight. Just like last week, we brought in another YouTuber, Sarasota Experience. I hope you guys all watched the video last weekend. Went and subscribed to his channel, his Instagram, his Facebook. Man, he puts out some awesome stuff. And we have another awesome YouTuber here today. Hopefully you guys are already subscribed to him. If you're not, I have all of his links down in the description down below. And I'd like to welcome to the show right now. Hang on, let me get this here. Start your video. You got to accept it, buddy. We got the Barefoot Vlogger in the house.
Hey! Yeah. What's
right,
up, guys?
Side by side. We're side by side now.
Hello, everybody. Greetings from not so sunny South Florida.
Kristen guessed it right. She guessed the Barefoot Vlogger.
Oh, my girl Kristen. What's up there? Up in beautiful Maine. It's not snowing up there, is it? Not yet.
Tony says, I love Sully and his outfit for the nightly walk. You know, we let him pick out his own clothes sometimes, and he is definitely a character. So, hi, Matt. Hi, Lacey. Hello, everybody. All right. So, if you guys don't know, this is Terry. He is the Barefoot Vlogger, and I'm a fan of his. So, that's why we got him on the show here. He makes some awesome videos, mostly vlog style, which, man, I think you're hilarious, by the way. So, you keep me entertained. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, first of all, why you changed your name from Keto Beach, what you used to be, to Barefoot Vlogger.
It's a great question. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And hey, everybody. Keto Beach started really like on a lark, on a whim, if you will. I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina at the time. Prior to that, I was living here for 20 years, but then moved to Charlotte and then made my way back. But when I came down here on vacation to visit my folks, we took some video. And when I got back to Charlotte and I watched the video, I wasn't too happy with what I saw, you know, to say the least. And so I decided that it was time. And I also had gone to the doctor, and the doctor said my cholesterol was high. I had put on some weight. And I said, you know what? I'm going to change my life. Something's got to change. My folks are getting up there in age. You know, I really miss them, and seeing them once a year just really wasn't enough. So I said, you know what? Let's talk to the wife. I said, let's put the house on the market. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to try to get myself into shape, and we're going to move to Florida. And when we finally did all that, which by the way happened really quickly with the housing market as strong as it is really pretty much around the country, we sold our house really in days, and we're able to come down here. My mom, and you can see it in one of the videos, she had a vacant place here in Western Boca that we were able to move right into. So that made it very easy. And then, you know, I just got acclimated pretty quickly. It was great to be around friends and family again so quickly. And I said, you know, I want to tell my story. And I felt that YouTube was a great way to do that in terms of, you know, moving back to Florida and then going through the weight loss. Because with keto, by the way, listen, it may not be for everyone, but I lost a lot of weight in a very short amount of time. And so I decided to document how I was doing that and going through the process while moving. So the two kind of played hand in hand with each other. And I thought that it made for some good entertainment, but also for some good, useful information for anyone that was thinking about moving to Florida. I mean, from, you know, packing up the cube to, you know, getting a car and driving down here and putting stuff in storage and you know, all the things that you got to go through that are stressful and difficult and time consuming. So Keto Beach was born. And I probably should have put more thought into the name, because the problem, Eric, is that keto, the name keto, if you go on YouTube and you put in the word keto, you're going to get all these YouTubers and all these videos that are just strictly keto diet. And some of my earlier videos focused on that, but my strength is in, and my love for YouTube is in telling stories.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is you are a fantastic storyteller.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know, so let me backpedal a little bit. So when I was younger, living in Florida, I went to Florida International University, which is a really good public state school in North Miami. They also have a campus in way down there, South Miami, off of Tamiami Trail. And I actually commuted from Boca down to Miami every day. But I went to school for, take a guess what? Any guesses out there? What my degree is in? Anyone?
Video editing.
Close, actually very close.
Graphic design.
Journalism.
Okay.
Journalism.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
I was a broadcast journalism major, and I just, you know, I'm a left-handed, right brain thinker, I guess, and you know, I was always bad at math, but good at telling stories and a very good writer. And that's kind of where, you know, my interest lies. So anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling, but that's kind of how this whole thing came together, was with my background, with the journalism and interviewing people and telling stories. It just kind of fell into place, Eric. It just, you know, I go out and I start doing these things, just letting it happen. And that's what it morphed into. So I got to the point, back to the keto, that YouTube, when you start to try to gain subscribers, and in the beginning, it's really difficult. And thank you to everyone that subscribes to both our channels. We really, I know, I don't want to speak for you, but I know I am when I say it's so difficult in the early stages. And Eric, how much work is it to go ahead and, you get the video, you take the raw footage, you have to edit it, you want to add some music, you want to do this, you want to do that. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of work. And it's a little bit frustrating at first when you see how difficult it is to try to get an audience, because there's 40 million YouTubers out there.
Right.
And it's, there's more YouTubers than people that live in France, I mean, just to put it into perspective. So, it's a long haul, but it's something that we're passionate about. And it's something that, eventually it will all come to fruition. But,
Terry, you have to be passionate about it because you're literally working a full-time job for no pay.
Listen, I will tell you guys, more than sometimes, I put in 16, 18, 20-hour days on YouTube for a passionate thing, because if you don't, okay, so I have to get back to the keto. So YouTube saw the name keto, and what it was doing was, it was these algorithms that they have, which is YouTube's way of figuring out who might want to watch your videos. So the algorithms were throwing all my videos, even if it just said Florida and it had nothing to do with keto, it was going to people that are on keto. So do you think they're going to want to watch, me getting thrown around in the waves in Florida?
Yeah, right.
So that's how the evolution of the Keto Beach came to Barefoot Vlogger. And I'm going to stick with the name. Love it or hate it. That's it. I'm done.
I think,
to be honest, I actually thought about keeping Keto Beach. I mean, it sounds nice, but it wasn't the right fit.
Plus your bacon and eggs t-shirt was awesome. So
thank you.
Guys, in case you didn't know, this is Terry. He's the Barefoot Vlogger. He also lives in Florida. So this is a live stream, you guys. We're still going to answer your moving to Florida questions. So feel free to put them in the comment section here and we will get to them for sure. But otherwise, make sure you're following Terry on all of his socials. They're in the description down below. Kristen says, so glad to see the collab. You guys are amazing and so helpful. Look forward to getting a notification that one of you release a new video. Hope Lindsay's sunburn is better, and it's not, Kristen, because we went on a walk just a little bit ago, and usually we go when it's dark out. Today we decided to go when it was light because we had this live scheduled, and Lindsay actually wore a sweatshirt outside because she's so sunburned, and now she got all sweaty, so she's in the shower. So that's where she's at right now. But yeah, I mean, I love doing collabs like this, especially, last week we did Sarasota Experience. Now we got Keto Beach. Oh, sorry, Barefoot Vlogger. But man, this is great. Getting to know, people that are passionate about the same thing you are, and, live close enough where we can actually come hang out sometime,
Absolutely.
That girl Daisy says, I like the house I saw online from the Davenport area. Thank you for the advice on that area. It is, that is the area me and my daughter are going to move to, and just like any area, Daisy, there's good parts of Davenport. There's a lot of good parts about Davenport, and there are some bad parts of Davenport. I would say mostly the gated communities in Davenport are extremely nice. They all are pretty much resorts, because of the fact lots of them house seasonal vacation renters. So they got to look like resorts to be appealing to that crowd. So if you can put up with having, half the houses on the block being different neighbors every now and then, you're going to get really good perks. Like our neighborhood, for instance, has its own golf course, tennis courts, swimming pool, anything you want, playground. They put fireworks on the 4th of July. We have Halloween parades and everything just in our community. So we're in kind of a spread out area being Davenport, but our community in its own really has kind of that small town feel, which is what we were looking for.
Yeah, I can speak to the amenities, and in Florida, you have to pay these HOAs. And I watched your last live stream, so I know you guys hit on that a little bit, and I won't get too much into it, but you have to pay these HOA fees, but a lot of times you get a lot for the money. I mean, the stuff that we get in my condo where I live that's included in the HOAs is we get cable, we get internet, we get water. We have tennis courts here. You guys have seen me skating. If you've seen the video, I threw the rollerblades on and I took my hockey stick and I went on the tennis courts. But
I watched it.
Yeah, but we have tennis courts. We have in this community, I think there's 15 swimming pools. plus an indoor swimming pool, and there's a gym, and they're building a $2 million gym in here. So, so yeah, you pay the HOAs, but you get a lot for the money, and you're never bored. Never bored.
Let me ask you something, Terry. What are your HOA fees there?
Okay, so our HO fees, it's going to sound high. It's going to sound high when I tell you. We live in a retirement community, which we weren't going to do at first. We were dead set against it. But it's the same place where my mom's place is. And after living here, so what happened was we were living here for a year, and we started to love it. We're like, you know, everything you get, and the location and the safety, it's guard gated. They have roving security here. We feel like we're living in Disney World, honestly. That's what it's like. The way they manicure, the gardening, and you know, they give you pest control. We have lakes here, and you can take the little boats out on the lakes. I mean, it's just endless, the amount of things you can do. You're never bored in here. We have paths that I could take the bicycle out and go inside my community without having to go out of the security, 10-mile loop around, 10 miles. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it's huge. It's tremendous.
Well, you didn't answer the question, though. How much is the HOA?
You're right. I didn't. I digress. It's me telling stories as usual. So the HOAs are $456 a month.
But like you said, that includes your water, your cable, like you said, internet, right?
Hold on. I'm not done yet. How about, and this is something, this actually was part of the reason I left Florida when I left. Because I left Florida in 2005, right? It was 04, 05. We left 2 weeks before Wilma hit. There was 6 hurricanes that hit in 2004, 6 of them. And I had a house at the time here in Boca. So, and I had the type of those like corrugated, whatever you call them, the shutters, the metal shutters that you put up, and they have the wing nuts, and you put them up. So I was putting them up, and we had sliders everywhere. So I was putting them up, taking them down, putting them up, taking them down. When I got to the 4th hurricane, I said, I don't care how dark it is in here, they're staying up. And so we were kind of punch drunk with all the hurricanes, and you know, but after a while, you know, they were done, and that was it. We had Gene, Francis, Ivan, Dennis. Francis was pretty bad, by the way. I think it was a category 4, and it hit not too far from us. It hit around Port St. Lucie, which is, I don't know, maybe 50 miles, 60 miles north of me.
Okay.
So anyway, I digress again as usual. What were we talking about?
The HOA fee. But yeah, like you said, lots of them will include things like your rent and not your rent. Jeez, that'd be great.
I'm all over the map.
Yes,
they do.
Your water,
the HOAs,
your internet. Now, some of them even include like lawn care and things like that. Now, ours includes, what does ours include? We don't have cable or internet or anything like that. It's pretty much just all the amenities. We have a guarded gate, you know, security that goes around. And I think ours is only 120 something a month. So it's actually still pretty cheap considering that we have swimming pool, you know, golf course, tennis courts, all that stuff, gated or guarded gate and all that stuff. So lots of them, though. There's one across the street that I think the amenities aren't as nice, and their HOA is like $330 a month. So sometimes you don't always get what you pay for.
Okay, so I lost my train of thought. I know why I brought up the HOAs with the hurricanes, because it includes the structural insurance. That's what that's where I was going with that. The structural insurance can be, it was my structural insurance on my home in 2005 was $5,000 a year. $5,000 a year just for the insurance on my house. Because what happens is when you have that many storms coming through, the pool, they have like a pool of funds for the state, it runs out of money. So they have to increase those funds coming in. So they raise the prices. That's very rare though, very rare. And since then it's been fine. But if you can get your HOA to include the structural insurance, I mean, that's going to save you, I don't know,
And that's probably more important towards the coast, I would think, correct?
Good point. Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I'm a coastal guy. I always live on it. So I grew up. Let's tell a little bit of my story of how I got here. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay, Brighton Beach. I don't know if you know that area. Remember the Warriors? Warriors come out to play. Remember that? That's where I'm from. So 20 years old, my father's like, you know what? I had enough of New York. I'm out of here. I'm moving to Florida. And we came here Christmas of 1983. Oh, wow. So from basically, let's call it 1984. From 1984 to 1992, there wasn't one hurricane that hit the southeast coast of Florida. Not one. That's what, 8 years? Yeah. And that's what, in fact, after Wilma happened, I don't think there was anything until recently. After Wilma happened, there was like a 8, 9, 10-year period after Wilma where there was nothing here. So that's one of the reasons why the population in Florida grew the way it did. Because when there's hurricane, I will tell you this, I will go on record. When there's hurricanes in Florida, people move out. They do. It happens. There's people, if they go through something that they get scared or whatever, people will move out.
Especially if there's 4, 5, 6 of them in the same year. You know, people are going to get sick of it.
Exactly. And there was a massive exodus. I was part of an exodus that moved. So we were, and what also happened at that same time, coincidentally, was the real estate was going bonkers. It was going up like crazy. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? If our house doubles, I'll sell the house and we'll move to North Carolina. She's like, it's not going to double. I said,
it doubled, didn't it?
I said, okay, but if it doubles, we'll do it. And she's like, okay. In 4 years, my house doubled from what I bought in 4 years.
And then when you get back down, 4.5 years. Double amount.
Nah.
No, not quite.
Well, I mean, you know, if I could have done it all over again, I don't, you know, I don't have regrets. And I have one video. If you guys are going to watch one of my videos, watch the video about regrets of moving to Florida. Many of you have probably seen it, but that was my regret, was that I didn't move back sooner, because I was here for 20 years and I moved to Charlotte and I was there for 12 years. So if you guys have questions, you want to reach out to me, especially if you're thinking of moving to, you know, from the Palm Beaches down to Miami. I do have a lot of experience with this area. Definitely reach out to me. But you know, I never like to have regrets, but I just don't think there's any better place to live than down here, because of how much life you get to live down here. How much life you get to live. You can really, unless it's raining and you got hurricanes, there's almost nothing you can't do. You know, hey, how funny is it, especially for you, Eric, coming from Milwaukee, right? That's where you guys are from, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah. Wisconsin. You go into a Walmart.
Wisconsin and Milwaukee, Terry, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I always think when I think of
Green Bay also.
when I think of Milwaukee, I always think of Happy Days, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Milwaukee? What is this Milwaukee? Remember? So, yes, but how funny is it that you go into a Walmart here and in the wintertime, there's no shovels. There's no snow shovels. There's no snow blowers. There's none of that stuff. It's just, there's no market for it.
Yeah, it's right.
Kind of a weird thing. But
all right, we got some comments to catch up on here. We got
Let's go. I'll shut up.
Counting down the days until we're moved to Florida. We'll be there in 3 weeks permanently in Rockledge, Florida. Can't wait. Congratulations, Sean. And Whitley is your wife, I believe. So congratulations to you guys. I know you've been watching us for a long time, so it's great to see your dreams coming true. Matt says, I see the Barefoot Vlogger comment on almost all of your videos. Well, Matt, if you go to his channel, you'll probably see me commenting on almost all of his videos as well. Club Sanderson, is that you, Clara? My 6-year-old would like to know how many different kinds of alligators are in Florida. There's one kind of alligator in Florida. That's the American alligator. There's also crocodiles in the Everglades. So
yeah, but by the way, crocodiles were not native of Florida, right?
No, correct? They're not native.
They're not native of Florida. And there's a few things that aren't native of Florida. People don't realize this.
Iguana?
The iguanas, and there's pythons, because what happened was people had these pets and they got tired of them. So they're like, well, I live in Florida. It's warm here. They drove out to the Everglades and they dumped their pets that they didn't want into the Everglades.
Yeah.
They did that with, and also parrots, by the way. There's wild parrots going around.
You know what else there is that I found out, Terry? There's piranhas too.
Piranhas?
Piranhas, yes.
That I did not know.
Yes, I learned that a couple weeks ago, and we were actually snorkeling in one of the springs, and I saw this huge fish. that looked like a giant piranha, and I don't remember what it was named now. But I looked that up, and that's an invasive species from the Amazon as well. And in the process of me looking that up, I learned that there's also piranhas in Florida. So that's
piranhas. Those are worse than sharks, man. At least the shark takes one bite at a time.
Right. Elaine says, I just learned about CDD fees. And if I go down, Cassandra said we're listing our house tomorrow and nervous. Houses in Wesley Chapel, Land Lakes go so quickly. They go quickly everywhere in Florida, Cassandra. The CDD fees are crazy high in Florida. Now, not every place has CDD fees. It's usually like the brand new communities. So I know CDD fees are something that a lot of people try to stay away from, but in some neighborhoods, if it's perfect and it's what you want, they're unavoidable. So I don't have much experience with that because we're still renting our home. Terry, do you know anything about CDD fees or how to avoid them?
What is the CDD fee? I don't even know what that is.
It's like a community development fee thing. It's for new communities. I don't know exactly what it is because we haven't dealt with it, but I know it's a fee a lot of people encounter, and lots of people, you can go away from it if you buy a house that's, maybe 5 years old rather than buying a new house.
That's why I don't know what it is. And I would just say negotiate.
Yeah, exactly.
You can negotiate almost anything. Try to if you have a realtor, try to get your realtor to help you out here and there. When we bought this place, what I did was I saw the listing, I contacted the realtor. I did not have a realtor. Okay. And I did that on purpose. And I contacted the realtor and I said, can you do a dual transaction? She's like, sure, I'll do a dual transaction, knowing immediately. And by the way, guys, I am not a realtor, but I know a lot about real estate, especially down here. Knowing that she was going to get the full commission, right? So if the commission's 6%, she ordinarily gets 3%. She could help me out with at least 1.5. You know what I mean? It's the right thing to do. And that's what happened.
Perfect.
So just negotiate all that stuff. The reason I probably am not familiar with that is because here on the East Coast, pretty much everything is built out. There is no land here, really. If you have to go way west to find any communities that are brand new. They're pretty rare.
Up here, there's tons of open space by us here in Davenport.
Right.
So
down here, that does not exist in Southeast Florida, especially if you want to be close to the ocean. If you want land, you almost have to buy the house and
demolish
break it down and then rebuild over it. I want to give a quick shout out to my man Frank.
I see him there. Somebody,
he's a fellow Mets fan. He's a fellow Mets fan. What's up, Frank? Our team's not looking too good right now.
I'm missing my Brewer game right now.
Yeah. Hey, your Brewers did a number on my boys last year. I don't want to talk about that. That's all right.
We got Danielle saying, we love you, Eric, but Miss Lindsay, come on, we need our favorite Florida couple. Well, maybe I can get her to make an appearance, Danielle.
Yeah, where is Lindsay?
She's upstairs taking a shower. I can probably get her to come down, but
it's a long shower.
I told her to kind of come in with this, and that she could be.
Hey, I hope your water's included in your HOA fees.
It's not. It's not. My water bill, that's something I can talk about. We made a video about all of our expenses, actually. Our water bill here is ridiculous. Now, granted, we have a family of 7, and we're constantly taking showers. We're playing outside. We got sprinklers and everything. And our water bill, no joke, is about $150 to $180 every month.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, water is a big ripoff. You really have to be careful with it. And you guys, you have so many children, and I can relate to that. I have 5 brothers, by the way. I don't know if you know that. I'm one of 6 boys. So, with all the laundry, and you're going to use water. You can't not use it. It can't be helped. So, you could try to cut down here and there, but that is a pretty big expense. But to be honest with you, our water bill in Charlotte was high too. So
LGM, Terry, LGM.
There we go.
What's that mean?
Let's go Mets.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, one other thing we haven't talked about, Terry, I think I saw one of your videos before. You were in a Packer hat. You're a Packer fan?
No, I just like the hat.
Oh man, come on. And I was getting ready to.
Not like the Packers.
I was getting ready to knock back a few cold ones and come down and watch a Packer game with you.
Hey, dude, you know who's not like?
What are you drinking there? A Stella?
Stella, baby.
Okay, I got my White Russian as usual.
Yeah, I'm married to a White Russian.
You got one every day then, whenever you want it, right?
There you go.
Let's see here. Clara, or Club Sanderson, says, yes, it's Clara, but now the whole family is watching live, so our club was a better name. You're correct on that. At least I recognize you. Anastasia says, we want to try to move to Florida while kids school online and see if it works, then most likely we'll stay longer or even move. You know, that's a great point to bring up right now, because lots of people are scared all the time about moving to a different state or something during the school year and ripping their kids out of school. But now with pretty much every place offering virtual learning, it's a great opportunity to move in a new area and learn the area while your kids are not having to necessarily, you know, have that awkward feeling going to a new school right away.
So listen, I can tell you something that will make everyone feel at ease on that, because it doesn't get any worse than this. When we moved down to Florida in 1983, my younger brother was a senior in high school. A senior in high school, okay? We moved down here. My father had a job and he had to take it. He had no choice. It was either come or not. So my brother had to move and leave his school and do 1 year in a high school where he knew nobody and nothing about anyone or anything. We just moved here. Talk about stress.
Yeah.
So kids acclimate fast. They do. They fit right in, and you know, they don't worry. They'll be fine.
We got, what is that? NI saying, I'm coming for vacation to the Tampa, Orlando area in a week. Do you think it's safe now? Our place is open. It's as safe as you make it. Technically, I mean, you go out, just be safe yourself. It depends what you want to do. You know, as far as are things open, it's county, but or not county. Yeah, it is county by county. Some of them are letting people dine in restaurants. Some of them are not. Terry, are they letting you dine in the restaurant down by you?
You know what? I haven't done much of it, and they may have changed it, and I may not be aware if they have, but the last I saw was they were doing 25% occupancy. Okay. And then they were kind of Xing off, you know, the seats where you couldn't go. I will say this about the COVID situation. There are some idiots out there, and you know, you're going to have that. That's just life. But for the most part, I've seen a lot of people here in Florida. I mean, even what I'm watching on the news, even in other areas, that are being very vigilant about this and careful, and they've woken up about it. They're not being cavalier like they were in the past. There's pretty much everyone that you see outside, not everyone, but most everyone. If you're not wearing a mask, you will be in the minority and you will be frowned upon and looked at with disgust. Definitely. I'm seeing that here in Florida. I give credit where credit is due, and I'm seeing people that are being very smart about it and taking all necessary precautions. You know, I stopped going to the gym. I don't do that. I don't take any unnecessary risks until this thing kind of dies down. It's just not worth it.
Your question, and most places are open, including lots of recreational places. The state parks are all open. Disney World's open. Universal Studios is open. All that stuff at limited capacity. Things like if you want to go to, say, Sky Zone, which is like a trampoline park, indoor trampoline park, stuff like that's not going to be open. You know, there's people rubbing their boogers all over the place in there. So
yeah, right. Movie theaters and things like that. I would say I don't think it's much different than where anybody else lives that's not down here now. I think it's pretty much a national thing. What's going on down here is probably very similar to what you guys are experiencing where you are if you're not down here yet. The beaches were closed for a while, and I did.
Down by you, by us. The beaches up by us were closed for maybe a couple weeks, but everything's been open the rest of the time since then.
Yeah, it's similar here. Yeah, they closed them, and they had police that were policing every single on-ramp onto the beach. The parking, where there was parking, was all closed off, so you just had no access to the beach. And you know, why not? 4th of July was probably one of the most surreal 4th of Julys I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, but now the beaches are all open, and I'll tell you, a lot of people are going there. They're flocking to the beaches because it's a good place to go during this. I really think it's.
And I'll tell you, last time, you know, Sarasota Experience, who was on with us last week, he flies a drone, and we did a live with him on his Facebook page. And if you guys saw it, the beach at Siesta Key we were at looked incredibly crowded, but on ground level, all the groups are 6 to 10 feet apart. You know, you go out in the water, and everyone's, you know, you're just by your family, so it might look crowded there, but you're not mingling with all those people. So.
Yeah, you have open air. The worst thing you can do during this thing is being in a closed space, right? That's what you want to try to avoid, because the air is going to circulate and this stuff can get around, and that's how you get it. But if you're out on the beach and there's nice wind circulation there, which there really is, and people have been maintaining distance. And I had one idiot just put their stuff down next to me. I mean, really close. And I didn't even say anything. I just took my stuff and I moved it. I moved it away. But for the most part, it's one of the best places you can be, I think.
I think so too. All right, we got Elaine saying CDD pays for roads and infrastructure, and you can get a homestead exemption on taxes. Well, there's a trade-off, right?
Absolutely. By the way, that is one of the best reasons you could be a homeowner in the state of Florida. That home state exemption is fantastic. It protects you in a lot of ways legally, and it provides a tremendous tax discount to you versus somebody that is living somewhere, having their domain, somewhere permanently and being down here as a snowbird or a part-time resident. If you live down here full-time, the first thing you should do when you make a purchase is go down to the county courthouse. I think you can even do it online now, and file for that home state exemption. It's wonderful.
We got somebody saying, how long have you lived in Florida? If you're asking me, it is a year and a half. Terry, I think total has been 21 years, right, Terry?
Yeah, actually, I came back a year and a half. When did you come? When did you move?
We moved February of 2019.
Okay, so yeah, we came back January 17th was our moving day, and I have a video.
Remember,
you guys,
I found your channel right around that time, so I've been watching you since pretty much when we started. We've been watching each other.
That's true. Yeah, I came back when you guys moved. A month before you guys moved here is when I came back. But originally moved in Christmas Eve to 1983. Were you even born then? You were probably Sully's age, if that.
I'm born in '84.
Oh God. Okay.
How's that feel, Terry?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sam says hi from Brooklyn, New York. There you got New York.
Hey, Sammy!
From
Lincoln
Brooklyn,
High School.
Pizza, right?
That's it. You know what? I need to do a vlog on that. Finding good pizza in South Florida or in Florida.
I've heard people can't find it.
The thing is Sam will tell you we're spoiled. Brooklyn, New York. I will tell you this. Sam will attest to it. I will put Brooklyn, New York pizza against pizza in Italy. It's that damn good. It's that good.
Next time you go visit, make sure you bring some back. I don't know.
I need to. Well, do you know the reason why pizza is so challenged outside of New York?
I don't.
Especially down here, it's because of the water. Because Florida has terrible water. I don't care where you are. It's bad.
What about the spring water?
It's bad. It's New York water. For some reason, it comes from upstate New York, I think. It's the best water in the country. It's so damn good. It really is delicious. And that affects the dough when they cook it, and the flavor and the taste of the pizza and the way the pizza comes out. So in fact, there's a company called New York Water Maker. And what they do is they sell this thing that changes the chemical composition of the water outside of New York to make it like New York water. And
really?
Pizzerias, look it up, New York Water Maker. And they sell this thing so that the pizza and also bakeries, because it affects a lot of things. All the bread is just, there's places that have good, if you get a public sub, it's really good. The bread's not bad. But when you live in New York, the bread up there, the cold cuts, the food up there is just, it's hard to emulate anywhere else, particularly when it's affected by the water. But there are people that have come down here from up there that have mimicked it as closely as they could, and it's decent. It's pretty good.
We got Matt saying, this is a question for both of you. What's the best way to get to Florida? Taking your time or getting there as fast as possible? It depends what you're doing, in my opinion. I think if you're coming down on vacation, get here as quick as possible so you got as much time here in Florida as you can. If you're coming down to move, take your time because you don't want to stress too much. That's my take. How about you, Terry?
I would just echo everything you just said, because when you're moving, taking your time will enable you. Have a checklist. Okay, guys, have a list of things and think of things. There's tiny little details that you can forget about And then when you get down here, it's like, I should have done that. Oh, my driver's license, my mail, forwarding my mail. Or, I mean, those are pretty big ones, I guess. But even small minutia, changing your, notifying your bank of your new address and whatever it might be. Have a list, have a checklist, and take your time. If you have the time, you may not, maybe, you took a job and they say they want you down there fast and you don't have the time that you would like. But try to, it's funny because in the hurricane video I just did, I said 3 rules for a hurricane: preparation, preparation, preparation. And I think the same holds true for moving. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Have all your ducks in a row. Have a map, point A to point B, where you're going and how you're going to get there, and all the things you need to do, and fill in those dots in between. And when you get here, you'll be able to chill and relax.
And what we always do when we drive back and forth from Wisconsin is we find places that we want to stop, usually someplace around where we're going to spend the night. And we find things to do in that area. Like for us, halfway between Wisconsin and Florida is about Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we did the Incline Railway there. We've done Rock City.
Nice.
What else did we do there? I don't remember, but we've done those things. We stopped in one time in Kentucky and did Mammoth Cave. So, you're road tripping across the United States. Go check out all the sites there are to see, because you might not get to see them again, and it's something you're driving right by it, you might as well.
That's a great point. Even in Florida, when you come down here.
Oh, there's so much in Florida.
Yeah, being in South Florida, it's like a 4-hour drive getting from Jacksonville down to Boca. So what we did was we drove from Charlotte and we stopped in St. Augustine. And I saw your video on St. Augustine. We did the same stuff. And that's a great town. It's a really great town. It's the oldest city in the country, by the way. Fountain of Youth. I was looking for it. I didn't find it. So that's why the beard's still right. But yeah, hit some of those spots on the way down. I mean, St. Augustine, Daytona, on the West Coast, listen, I'm a 21 going on 22-year Florida veteran. And there's still so much. I haven't been to the Panhandle. I haven't been to like Fort Walton Beach, Niceville, Pensacola.
Well, that's about a 10-hour drive for you.
But so what, right? It's worth
right.
it. You plan it and you make the time to do it, because there's a lot to see there. I was looking at Naples, and what's the town? They have like a little Greek village there near Naples.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's because the Greek fishermen settled there, and it begins with a T.
You got me at a loss for words.
Yeah, Tavernier. No, that's in the Keys. But the places like this where there's just so many little interesting places and culture about it. Believe it or not, Florida's got culture that you can check out. Down here you guys need to come down here when you're ready. You come down here and you go to Miami. Because you've got so much culture. You've got little Havana, right? You've got little Haiti, and just all these ethnicities that are right on top of each other that you feel like you're a world away. There's really no place like it.
There definitely is not. We got another question here. I'm reading ahead. California Dreamin', which maybe you should change your name to Florida Dreamin', right? I'm relocating to the Tampa area for work, looking at Apollo Beach with direct Gulf access, but open to anywhere north of Tampa to North Sarasota. There's tons of great areas from Sarasota to Tampa. I mean, like you said, Apollo Beach, you have Sarasota, you have Venice is just a little bit south, but that's a great area. You also have Wesley Chapel, Lakeland, if you go a little bit inland, but you said direct Gulf access. So there's so many good areas there. Even if you go a little bit north, Tarpon Springs, we've been there. It's a great little town. It has it's a little fishing village.
That's it. You just named it. Tarpon Springs. That's
way north. That's north of Tampa.
It's north of Tampa? Okay. Well, see, I just learned
That's
something.
Where they find all the sea sponges.
That's the sea sponges. That's the Greek town. That's right,
okay.
Tarpon Springs. See, I haven't been there. That's why I don't know about it.
Matt says New York is allowing dining in and outside. So that's good. Hopefully everyone's just obeying everything they need to obey there.
We have that too. And the servers are wearing masks, but when you're seated, you can take the mask off. So
yeah. Mark says, have only outside dining in San Diego. Things pretty much shut down at 9 p.m. And you know what? I don't get the point of that. Is COVID not spread after dark or what? What's the deal with the curfews? I don't get it.
The governor is trying to crack down over there.
Yeah. Man versus Paradise says, "What's up, Terry?
Hey,
Just
I know,
found
man.
Florida with
Jason,
five. Was
what's
born and
up,
raised in
Jason?
Eau Claire." That's one of your followers, huh?
That's my man.
All right. Well, glad that he found us now. Born and raised in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Well, Man versus Paradise. We are also from Wisconsin. I'm very familiar with Eau Claire. Actually, unfortunately, my cousin is in the hospital there right now. He's in a motorcycle accident. So,
Oh gosh.
but very familiar with the whole state. Been to Eau Claire many times.
Thoughts and prayers. What's going on? It's running in the family. Didn't you just have a car accident?
I did, yeah. It was literally like a week after I had my car accident. He got in a motorcycle accident, and he's got, unfortunately, a traumatic brain injury now. So he's dealing with that.
Oh God. Oh God.
Hopes are high, so we're not going to get into that.
Thoughts and prayers.
Right, thank you. Theft Plays says, "How is the fishing in Florida?" Fantastic. Saltwater, freshwater, has some of the biggest largemouth bass in the country, first of all. The saltwater fishing is unbelievable. You know,
Off
you
the
want to go
charts.
offshore, you can catch anything from marlin, sailfish, you know, Goliath, grouper, sharks. We've caught a shark already. Tarpon.
Yeah, by the way, you can do that from the shoreline.
Yes,
you
you
can.
can.
I can't tell you how many people I've seen, they don't have a boat and they just have their buckets and their big rigs and they're out there and you see the rods bending and they're catching all kinds of stuff.
And a tidbit for you guys, you come to Florida and you're a resident in Florida, you get a from shore saltwater fishing license for free. Don't have to pay for it. So make sure you take advantage of that.
By the way, speaking of fishing, that's a great question. How does this sum it up for you? You go down to the Florida Keys.
Oh my God.
And they have something called Cook Your Catch, where you could go on the fishing boats, right? And you come back on from the charter and you have your catch and they will actually cook your catch for you at the restaurant.
That's fantastic.
Not going to get that in Wisconsin.
Probably not. Matt says, "Water facts with the barefoot blogger." We're way behind here when you're talking about water. Candy Girl, moving on to New York, have a home built in Cape Coral. 3 months till we move. Getting excited but nervous. You know, Candy Girl, you're going to get even more nervous about a week out of moving because things are going to start seeming really real. And don't worry, because it's all going to be fine. Somebody else said Tarpon Springs. I'm way behind. Sponge Docks at Tarpon Springs. Yep. Cheryl, you are right. That's what Terry was talking about. So many people leaving New York, says Matt, including me. And people leaving Chicago, they say.
Listen, I'm from New York and I love it. It's in my blood and, you know, I'm a New Yorker through and through, but why would you live there? Why would you live there? I just, no. I mean, because from practicality, it's, you know, you got, you know, all the taxes you have and the crowding and things are always going up. They're not going down. And I mean, what's great about my relationship with New York is I live here and my life is here, but I can always go back, right? I did a couple of videos where I went up there with my son and we went to the city and I did like a little rewind from 15 years prior. We had hot dogs out of the cart there in Manhattan. I enjoy New York now more than I ever did before because I can go and visit it and love it. And then I come back to Florida and I'm here.
You guys, if you don't know, this is Terry, the Barefoot Blogger. Check him out on YouTube. Links are down below. The Barefoot Blogger. He's also on Facebook and Instagram. Those links are also down below in the description. So make sure you guys are following him. He makes awesome videos.
Thank you.
Man vs. Paradise again says, don't. Oh, you guys are talking back and forth. Sorry. Didn't mean to butt in your conversation.
Look at that. $18,000 in taxes. Wow.
I'm way behind here, Terry. Clara says late hours typically means people are enjoying adult beverages. Harder for adults to stay 6 feet away. I get what you're saying. Everyone's gonna start making out, right? What are the hardware for the live stream? Well, we're kind of new to this, so I have a Zoom Pro membership, meaning I can stream live to YouTube from the Zoom. So that's what we're doing. Me and Terry are now on a Zoom call. He's on his iPhone. I unfortunately can only do it from my computer, so that's why my quality is a little down. The computer camera is not the best, and the audio. I realize that, but that's how we're doing this, is through Zoom. Any of you two get furloughed? I did not. How about you, Terry?
No, I don't have a quote unquote job. I'm more of a consultant
Okay.
situation. You know, I don't work for the man.
You just hang out on the beach all day. That's what I told you before.
Nothing wrong. Hey, that'd be great if that would be my job, right?
That would be
beachcomber, professional beachcomber.
Job any day. Thank you, Clara, for the well wishes. How is flood insurance if you live in the bay or along the main rivers close to the bay? Terry, you want to take that? Because I have no idea. I live inland.
I mean,
you live in a second floor condo, right?
They have a demarcation. They will have it like a certain road that if you live east or west of it, it could be a night and day difference between what you pay. So find out what that demarcation of that road is in the county or in the city that you're looking to live in, and try to stay west of it if you can. But even some places that are west are considered a flood zone if they have a lot of lakes around them.
Right,
so,
and Florida is a very low-lying state, so almost the whole state is flat. So a lot.
Oh yeah, we're at sea level here basically. Right. So really the further west you'll be. I mean, I think where I live is perfect because I'm 15 minutes to the beach and 96 steps to the pool, as you now know.
I do.
So I think that's the best of both worlds, but finances come into play with this a lot. I mean, if you're not a multimillionaire, being on the ocean or close to it is it's out of reach for a lot of people because all of the costs. And by the way, there's other costs that are associated with that. You have your HOAs, but you also have these what do they call them? Assessments. These assessments, which are fees that if you're going to live in a condo, if let's say a hurricane comes and it does some damage to the condo, and it could be the parking lot, it could be the roof, it could be their pool, it could be the railings, it could be anything. If a hurricane does damage to that condo and they don't have what's called a reserve, if you're buying a condo, make sure you find out from the realtor if that condo has what's called a reserve. And what a reserve is it's money that they have saved up so that they don't have to either increase your HOAs or what they usually do, assess you for the damage, right? Because when you're in a condo, that's what a condo is. A condominium is everybody owns the property, right? Everyone owns it. It's commonly shared. So you have to pay for it. If something breaks, you have to pay for it. So if they don't have the money in a reserve to pay for it, then they will assess all the owners the amount. So if it's $1 million and you have X amount of owners, they divide that $1 million by the X amount of owners, and everybody gets a bill that they have to pay. And typically they will let you pay that off. But I mean, there have been assessments that I've seen down here for $30,000.
Jeez. That's good info for somebody looking to move to be aware of something like that.
Yeah, do your homework. Make sure you have it. Listen, there's good realtors and bad realtors, just like there's good mechanics and bad mechanics. Do your homework. Make sure you got somebody that's lived in the area a long time and they know their stuff. And ask these questions. Do they have a reserve? Have they been assessed? When was the last time they had an assessment and how much was it? And what did that assessment cover? We were going to buy a place that was pretty far east of here and we loved it. We loved it. But they were getting ready to be assessed. We found that out. And that assessment could have been as much as $30,000. Ladies and gentlemen,
do your homework.
You have to add that to the price of the place you're buying because you're paying it. So
California Dreamin' says getting married at Venice Beach in October with the reception at Finn's. Small wedding, so still planning on having it. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Nice.
You
Congrats.
Getting married. So this is what you're saying, $18,000 in taxes. Yeah, that's ridiculous. that he's buying in Davenport now instead. So we'll be neighbors. Make sure you look.
Well,
us
think
up.
about it. How much is that a month? What is that? I didn't do the math. I suck at math.
150 bucks a month.
1,100 a month or something?
18,000.
18,000?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
1,500
1,100 a month, whatever it is. I mean, that's crazy. I mean,
that's a mortgage payment. You know?
You can, and by the way, it's taxes. So you could throw that money in your fireplace, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
taxes.
Exactly.
And taxes go to good things, right? Schools and roads and this and that. But they also go to bad. They also get wasted. The point is, it's not going to help you out individually, right? So that's why come down here, come down. You don't need to do that. It's
so Man vs. Predator says 97 steps to be in the pool, and he says my goal is to beat Terry's 96 steps.
There you go. There you go. All right, then we're going to his pool.
Yeah. Matt says, I think you use a camera of higher quality on your computer if you have one. We have our Fuji, which shoots in 4K, but I learned, because I was trying to figure out before the stream here, that you got to have special hardware and everything to get your computer to recognize as a webcam, which I don't have. So we're stuck with the crappy webcam on the computer, unfortunately, for now, until I figure that out. Can you please tell me about Port St. Lucie? I want to move October 2021. This is you, Terry. Lacey wants to know about Port St. Lucie.
I know Port St. Lucie. You know why? Frank, why do I know Port St. Lucie? It's the home of the Mets. That's their spring training facility in Port St. Lucie. I've been up there. That's what's called the Treasure Coast. So the Treasure Coast is like Martin County, all in that area, which is probably about an hour and 10 north from where I am here in South Palm Beach County. And it's nice. And if you're from the Northeast, you'll love it because there's a lot of New Yorkers up there. They have some really nice beaches there too. They have this beach called Bathtub Beach, and they call it that because that may be Stewart actually, but Port St. Lucie and Stewart are right next to each other. So Port St. Lucie and Stewart, two really good towns. I mean, you could get a nice house there probably for, I want to say like $225 to $250. You could get yourself a nice, like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bath with a 2-car garage, screened-in pool. Again, I'm not a realtor and I haven't looked at it for a long time, and I may be way off, but I don't think so. I don't think it's changed much. So you'll get a good value there. You'll get a really good value.
A lot of people ask us about Port St. Lucie, and I always have to kind of defer and say, you know what, I've never been there. I can't tell you much about the area. So it's good that you know something about it.
Here's what's good about Port St. Lucie. What's good about Port St. Lucie is it's not as crowded as it is down here. I'll tell you that. It's getting more crowded, but it's not as crowded. It's more spread out. They got beautiful beaches. It's a lot cheaper. The taxes are a lot cheaper. You're still on the East Coast, you get the Atlantic. And if you want to be to Fort Lauderdale, it's an hour and 10 drive to be in Fort Lauderdale.
That's awesome.
Good call, by the way. I like that area.
Marty says, let's get Eric a camera. Marty and Sue's challenge everyone to super chat, and then he did a super chat. So thank you very much, Marty and Sue's. I do need a new web camera. That's something we really do need if we're going to continue to do this, which I think is a great way of not only networking with, fellow YouTubers, but also being able to, bring you guys a perspective from somewhere else in the state. I think this is great. And we've even talked about, any of you, please reach out to us if you moved down here recently, because we really want to get one of our viewers on a Zoom call to kind of talk about what it's like moving during the COVID-19 situation. I think that'd be great. So if anybody's interested in that, please reach out to us because we'd love to do the same thing with you. And thank you again, Marty and Suze. Let's go Mets again, says Frank. How are the Mets?
Port St. Lucie. Yeah, that's a nice area. Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach, Jupiter. I mean, those are some really good towns that are, it's not North Florida, it's not South Florida. It's in that sweet spot right there. I think you're making a good move there. I like it. That's
good. So again, guys, this is the Barefoot Vlogger. He has a YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram page. So make sure you guys are checking them out. All those links are down in the description. If you're watching this later on, again, make sure you check them out. Links are down in the description.
Thank you. Keep an eye out. I'm editing a vlog right now that is going to explain why I went with the name Barefoot Vlogger. The early mailmen.
You kind of explained it in an earlier video, didn't you?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Man, that may happen with us. We shall see. Man versus Predator says. I don't know what he's talking about. We'll see. iPhone is a good camera. Yes, it is, but it's not as versatile as other cameras, should you say. I mean, we film, we do 90% of our filming with an iPhone because honestly, it's so easy. It's portable. It's in your pocket most of the time. You know, we have selfie sticks for it whatsoever, but we have that. We have a little Fuji cam that we use for underwater stuff, and that's all we have right now. So, go Cubs, says Sarah. Come on, get out of here. Nobody likes the Cubs but Cubs fans. Am I right, Terry?
You know, I love Wrigley Field. I'll give you that. I love Wrigley Field, but I don't know. Cubs.
They're the Brewers' arch enemy. So
listen, anything's better than the Yankees, and I'm from New York. I hate the Yankees like poison.
You know, a couple months ago, when there was no baseball for a few months, I would have been happy to root for the Cubs just to watch baseball. So
exactly, yeah. Any baseball is better than no baseball.
California Dreaming says the houses I'm looking at are directly on the water, show extreme flood zones via the FEMA maps, including Apollo Beach. No bueno. Yeah, I would assume if you're right on the water, the insurance is going to kind of skyrocket.
Listen, you know what? It just depends on your appetite for risk and spending money.
Yeah, right.
If you got the money and you want to be on the water, then it's the price you got to pay. What's it worth to you?
Yeah, that's true. Good vlogs. Planning on moving to Orlando from Boston. You know, Orlando, people say what they want about it. It's really busy. One great thing about Orlando, there's always something to do. And you can go to the East Coast or West Coast in about an hour and 15 minutes. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You know, it's an easy day trip. And you got all the theme parks. Lots of people are like theme park junkies. So if you're in Orlando, there's nothing better than that, right?
You know what? Orlando, again, I'm a coastal guy. I like to be near the water. And I lived in Charlotte. So don't forget, it took me 3.5 hours to get to the beach. And I grew up on beaches. So it took me 3.5 hours to get to the beach when I lived in Charlotte. So when I was coming back down here, I wanted to be close to family, but I also wanted to be on the coast. But Orlando is smart for a lot of reasons. I think there's a good job market up there because of all the things that you have that's going on.
Yep.
And you're in the middle of the state. So that's a benefit of being away from the coast, is that when these things come by, you don't have to worry so much. You really don't. Most South Floridians, when there's a hurricane coming and they need to evacuate, take a guess where they go. They go to Orlando. They go inland.
Right. Yep. Clara and the rest of the Sandersons want to know, Kiddo wants to know the best beach to find shark teeth and cool seashells. Well, if you're looking for shark teeth, anywhere around Venice, I know there's Minnesota Beach and Nokomis Beach, I think are the names of it. My family actually lives right over there, and that's like the shark tooth capital of the world, down by Venice, Florida there. If you're looking for seashells, Sanibel Island, which is also right out there, is great for seashells, along with down by Marco Island is also really good for seashells. Know any other good spots, Terry?
I just think they're everywhere because of the you know, there's a lot of sharks out there. I mean, for better or for worse.
I've seen my aunt come with jars full of shark teeth from one morning looking out there. So they're all over the place there. And I know like that Sanibel Island, that's where you find the big conch shells and stuff like that. You know, more than just your typical little shells you're finding on most beaches.
There's one video that I did where I was walking and talking, and I found one and I picked it up, and it was off subject, but I didn't care. And I picked it up and I'm like, wow, look at that thing. And then I compared it to a quarter, and it was bigger than the quarter. So they're out there because sharks regenerate teeth like we grow our nails.
Yeah, they do.
The teeth constantly fall out and they're replacing them. So they wash up on the shore. They're you know, pretty much anywhere you live, you'll find them. But as far as who has the most, yeah, probably the West Coast, I would say.
Man vs. Predator says if we end up moving, I do believe we'll be documenting it and we'll keep you guys in the loop. That'd be great. This is
Fantastic.
how I found Terry. I love watching other people do the same thing I'm doing. So I love.
You know what? I would say this day and age, cameras are everywhere. We see it, right? We turn the news on and we see everybody with their iPhones, the video they take. Keep a camera with you, whether it's your phone or whatever it is, because you know the video that I just shot. Did you see the one, Eric, with the waves where I went out to the beach the day before the hurricanes came? It was the last one I did. Well, anyway, I had no inclination of filming a vlog at all, but I had my GoPro with me because it's small enough I could bring it, and my phone.
Yeah.
And it ended up, the waves were gigantic. I'm like, I got a vlog here.
Yeah,
I got a vlog here. So, so definitely, I think it's great. Definitely, Jason, do that, man. Trust me, one thing that I love about YouTube, and this is a major reason I started my channel, was because I wanted to document my life. And you know what? That's what it is. Think about it, Eric. The kids, seeing them, watching them grow up, and all the places you go and the things you do. It's not a photo album, man. You're seeing it in living color, every thing that you guys have done, and you'll have that forever. So definitely do it.
That's how we started out. And if you guys have watched this for a while, we started out just making this YouTube channel just so that we could kind of edit videos and post them so that our family could see what we're doing here. And we started getting feedback from strangers, you know, saying, hey guys, how'd you move here? You know, what'd you do how'd you pull the trigger? You know, so we saw an opportunity, not an opportunity, but it was an opportunity to help people, you know, to share our experiences and make it easier on other people like we wish that we had. You know, there was, at the time we moved, you know, there was a couple of people I watched. Florida Suburban Dad I watched. I don't know if you guys have ever watched him, but I watched him, and there was not very many other people doing what we do now. But now that I've kind of been doing it, I've been finding great small YouTubers like you, Terry, and ourselves, you know, that are out there doing this, and that many people are finding great information from. So it's great.
Florida, I'll be brief here, but this is important. Moving to Florida is not a typical move. Okay. You could say any move is atypical, but if you're moving from, you know, Michigan to Nebraska, it's not as it's much different than if you're moving from Nebraska to Florida, because of all of the extreme changes you're going to have between the weather, your finances, the housing market down here, the geography.
It's a new world, you know?
It really is. So that's why the information that you guys are putting out there, Eric, is very, very good, very useful.
I'll say it again. Well, the day we moved, you know, we left Wisconsin. The wind chill in Wisconsin that day was -20, the day that we left. The day we arrived in Florida, it was 80 degrees out. So it was 100-degree difference from when we moved. And that in itself is outrageous, you know, but then add in the fact we moved here, we didn't know how prevalent the Hispanic culture was down here in Florida until we moved here. Like, it would be huge if I could speak Spanish, including where I work. So those of you that are ways out from your move, consider picking up some Spanish along the way, because there's a lot of Spanish speaking people down here.
That goes almost for the entire state, because just imagine Southeast Florida. If you look for jobs in Miami, it's almost a must that you're bilingual. Almost a must. It maybe is a must.
Man versus Predators, rooting on the Brew Crew right now. I can appreciate that. Let me know how they're doing, because I don't have them on right now.
It's a good team.
It is, and you know what? They had to miss this whole weekend because 5 of the Cardinals got sick with COVID, so we couldn't play them.
Yeah. It's a crazy year.
Football season's not going to finish, but I don't want to say that too much. Matt says, ever thought of getting a drone? We have a drone, but it's a pretty cheap one, and we haven't done any filming with it yet. Now, I want to get one like our boy Sarasota Experience has, but his is about $1,500. That's not really in the budget right now, but that.
Are they hard to use? Are they hard to figure out? Because I'd like to get one too. You know,
the one that he has, he showed me, because we met him down there and he did some filming for us, which you'll see in an upcoming video here. But we met him down there and he showed me it, and his is, you know, it's so high tech, it's super easy, and he flies it out. I think he said it's got a 3-mile range, so you can fly it out 2 miles, and you just hit a button, home, and it comes right back to you.
I'll crash it, even with that button. I'll crash it.
Yeah, you'd be out $1,500 too.
Yeah.
Frank says, I hate the Yankees more than the Phillies. That must be a New York thing, right? If you like the Mets.
If you like the Mets, it's like the Yankees are poison.
Marty says, good job, or well done, guys. Video podcast number 2. When are you going to start podcasting? You know, that is something Lindsay and I have actually talked about, and we really want to do. So that's in the works eventually. We haven't necessarily started it yet, but in the future, that's something we want to start as a podcast. So keep an eye out for that.
Isn't that what this is?
It kind of is a podcast, yes, but it's a video. So podcast.
See, I don't even know the difference between this and a podcast. I have no clue.
This really is a podcast, except for podcast is something you listen to on like Spotify or iHeartRadio. It's just the audio.
Oh, okay.
We could literally upload the audio from this to Spotify or something to make it a whatever, moving to Florida podcast or something.
I'm such a dinosaur.
Anastasia says, is finding a job there much more difficult than in Chicago? Financial field like accounting and banking. I don't think that necessarily finding a job is harder here, although you are dealing with a lot of out-of-state candidates. I think if you're already in the state, it gives you a leg up, especially in like the financial and banking. Up by Jacksonville is where a lot of banks have their headquarters. So that'd be an area to look for you.
That's right. I don't, just to touch on that, a lot of people are coming down, are afraid to come down here because they think it doesn't pay well down here. It's hard to find a job down here. There's the old stigma of, oh, it's the type of lifestyle which is all travel and vacation related and tourism. Not anymore at all. It's really not. There's a pretty good job market depending on what you do and where you are. But if you go to the major cities, Tampa, even Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Jacksonville, if you're anywhere near those major cities,
there's a lot of major cities in Florida too.
Yeah, it's a lot of major cities, and there's a lot of good companies, and there's a lot of job opportunities. I would not let that dissuade you. I think that's.
I don't know if you've heard, Terry, but Florida is making a big push to get the the Space Force headquarters built here.
Yeah, I saw that. I know.
That's like forget what they said, $3 billion that it would cost to build a facility there. So
exactly,
a lot of jobs here. Club Sanderson, maybe the Sandersons will vlog our Alaska to Florida trek. We'll have to go through Canada and everything.
Wow,
amazing! I'd love to see that. Now, when are you moving, Clara? First of all, and second of all, I know that Canada has a ban on the U.S. crossing the border, U.S. citizens right now. So how would that work if you're trying to move down here? I wonder if they'd let you or not. Frank says you guys help more than you'll ever know. Well, we appreciate that, Frank. And I know you came over from Terry's channel, so thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks, Frankie.
Man vs. Predator says, oh my God, you moved January 2019, didn't you? Both of us, Terry, moved pretty much the same time, within a month.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
James Sexton, I'm wondering, James, are you the James I work with? First of all, I was born in Florida. Nothing typical about it.
That's true.
Matt says that sounds good. Okay, talking to each other again. I'm butting in. Anastasia, how about speaking Russian in Miami? Is that good to help find a job? Well, you could communicate with Terry's wife, probably, right?
Let me tell you something. Thank you, Anastasia. This is a great point. Here in Boca, because the Russian community was typically in the Sunny Isles, Miami area. There was, a little bit in Hollywood and going down towards Miami Beach, but Sunny Isles, Aventura is where most of the Russian citizens lived. A lot of them are in the real estate industry, by the way, which is interesting. But I go to the beach in Boca. I cannot tell you how much Russian. I tease my wife about it all the time too. I'm like, I'm going to start speaking Russian. She's like, no, don't. Not that I speak it, but the few words that I know, spasiba, хорошо, привет. So absolutely. There is a big, you can look it up, Anastasia. There's a big Russian Facebook group and community that's in South Florida. And it's a very, very powerful network. I can't tell you the size and the scope of the Russian community here in Southeast Florida. It's
crazy.
Huge.
I would have never thought that.
It's huge. We go shopping at the Russian store. We have a Russian grocery here in Boca, and they have all my favorite, Russian foods that I love. So it's really cool. Yes, if you're bilingual and you speak Russian, certainly can't hurt you.
Let's see. Matt says, see the channel Kara and Nate and see the drones they use because they're high quality and not in the $1,000 range. So have to check that out. Kara and Nate, I'll have to remember that. Is there one silver lining of COVID-19? Its ability to work from home. My wife just got the okay. That is awesome. And for me, I got to work from home for a couple weeks, and for me, it was pretty much hell. Having 5 kids here and trying to do my
That's
job
true.
from home, it was hard. So I was like, please, can I come back to the office? I wasn't like that, honestly, but to get my job done and do everything I need to do, I got to be focused, and it's just hard to do when you run around changing diapers and hearing crying all day and all that stuff. So kudos to Lindsay for putting up with that day in and day out. Where are we at here? Cheryl, my daughter got a drone recently, and she said it's very easy to use. That's good, because the cheap ones that my kids have had are very hard to use. So maybe they've come a long way.
They have a small one now that's really good. I mean, some of these things. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay. Clara, you said our move was bumped up May, June 2021. Hopefully COVID stuff will be over. We're going to move in 2022, but don't want to wait that long. I wouldn't be surprised if you bumped up your move again, because for us, it was like, once you have that date or think like, hey, we're moving, you just are so excited and just want to get there. So I would not be surprised, bump up your move again.
Eric, check out this selfie stick. Look at this thing.
You got one of the self-balancing ones?
It's really small, and it's easy. You could throw it, because I'm a runner and a gunner. I don't like to take all this heavy stuff and put it. And if you don't have something that's got a stabilizer in it, then your video can shake.
Yeah.
So this thing, it's company called Jiyun. I guess it's Chinese made, but I mean, and you just take it and you throw it in your pocket. So
you have one very similar to that, but you say that one's got a stabilizer?
It's got the 2-axis. It's not the 3-axis, but still pretty good, man. I know it's, I could fit it in my pocket. But now they have this drone, apparently, that's also small like that you can, fit it right in a small bag.
Sweet. Mark says, my background is insurance investing. I'd be looking in Tampa, Cape Coral for a job. I'm not sure how the insurance investing jobs are there necessarily, but insurance is huge in Florida in general. So I don't.
They're great. Yeah, it's a good. It's
a job.
Anything in insurance, financial. I used to be a stockbroker in a previous life down here in Boca. I was a stockbroker for a while, and financial, anything financial, accounting, insurance. It's huge down here. I mean, everybody, think about it. Think of all the insurance. You got all these cars. Florida has what? What's the population now, Eric? 20 million, 21 million?
You got me.
Dude, it's huge. When I first moved to Florida, there was 7 million people here. It's 21 million people here now.
That's a lot of people, but it's a huge state too. Like we said, I mean, from the Keys to Pensacola, it's a 14, 15-hour drive.
Right. So and you have, there's a lot of elderly here. I mean, that's always, listen, when I first moved to Florida in 1983, 84, that's all that was here. This was people came, they used to say, there was a joke, people go to Florida to die. That was the joke. But there still is a tremendous gray population. So I think, with healthcare and, if you're in the medical field, healthcare, insurance, huge.
James, it is you. So thank you for joining, buddy. We got Faisal, whatever, Ethiopians, they live around there. I don't know any Ethiopians. How about you, Terry?
Ethiopians? Well, all I can say is I don't. Funny, we used to have an Ethiopian restaurant in Charlotte where I lived, but it's very diverse down here. The cultural diversity is amazing.
It is.
So many people from South America, so many people from Europe. We have a lot of Germans, people from the UK here.
Everywhere.
A lot of Swedish people, and just, everywhere. Australian.
Yeah. Matt says, wow, it's been an hour already. Man, it's been an hour and 18 minutes already. This is a long live stream. But
has it?
We're rocking it, right?
That's what happens when Barefoot shows up.
He steals the show and talks the whole time.
Can't shut up.
Clara says we have to sell our house. That's one thing. Kids finishing school out here. That's why earliest will be May 2021. Well, kudos to you then. Just stick to that plan and make sure you get all your ducks in a row, all your research done, and it should be a smooth move. Make sure you document it because we want to see it. Floridad, when I decided to move down here, it's all I could think about. That's the same with us. The day that we decided we're moving to Florida, literally I went on my phone every day. That's all I looked at. Something to do with moving to Florida, and That's all I would do. Sun up to sundown, minus when I was at work. That's all I looked at. So I get that. Man versus Paradise, Rex small drones. Yes, you're gonna have to upgrade, and we just got to get
That's
one.
a vlog right there.
Faisal, I want to move to Tampa area. I want to know any Ethiopians live around there. You know, if anybody's here that lives in Tampa, help them out. Let us know. How is it in Florida with French? Says some Jack. Well, Terry had just talked. You know, it's very diverse here in Florida. No matter what language you speak, you'll be able to probably find a Facebook group for that area. Like you said about the Russians down in Southeast Florida, you'll be able to find a Facebook group for your nationality in the area you live.
I can speak to that also, Eric, with regard to French, because je parle français mais très peu. I took it in high school. That's about it for me. Oh, d'accord, très bien, monsieur. Hollywood, Florida, and really pretty much a lot of my neighbors are from are French-speaking Canadians from Montreal, from Quebec. So I don't know if you meant the country of France or French-speaking Canada, but there are a lot of French Canadians in Southeast Florida, and usually where most of them live is in the Hollywood and Hallandale Beach area. And if you go down to Hollywood, I'm going to do a vlog on it over there because it's really nice. They have this. It's not a boardwalk. It's what they call a broadwalk because it's not made out of wood. But the beaches there are beautiful. They actually imported sand in Hollywood Beach from the Bahamas because there's a lot of beach erosion here on the East Coast. Maybe by you guys too, it's probably not as bad by you, but because we have the Atlantic here hitting all the time and the hurricanes and everything, in Hollywood, they actually brought in sand on barges from the Bahamas. So those beaches are beautiful. It's white. It's kind of like your beaches out there. You guys have the white sand beaches. But they have all these little cafes and little French, you could get croissants and all these things, coffee, cafe, and cafe au lait, all this stuff. And people speak French there. So I think you'd be right at home.
Matt says, would you say the diversity in Florida is as much as it is in New York?
Well, it's a great question. I don't know if anywhere is as much as New York, just because New York is a tremendous melting pot. But I mean, maybe. I mean, New York has what, 10, 11 million people in the city proper? So this entire state of Florida with its 20 million and the diversity of it, I mean, I would say it compares, especially if you go down into Miami, because you have Creole with the Haitian population. You have South Americans have really, there's been an influx of South Americans from Colombia, Brazil, and Brazilians, by the way, don't speak Spanish. As you know, they speak Portuguese. So, Chile, there's a lot of Chileans, Argentinians. And what's great about that is that not only is there a mixture of culture and languages, but the food. The food is incredible. Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable. There's a restaurant down in Miami that's really famous. It's called Versailles. I have to go down there. But if you guys like Cuban food, it's one of the best in the country.
Tonka says, I'm heading down Davenport in September to finish furnishing my new home. Can't wait to leave Boston. And Tonka, we've seen all your pictures, man. Beautiful home. Thank you for sending them. And we can't wait for you to be part of the family down here. Florida says, my office has people from Ireland, Colombia, New York, Arizona, London, Puerto Rico. Only one was local. And that's what you'll find down here in Florida is that there's not that many native Floridians, really. Almost everybody is a transplant from somewhere at some point.
That's right. I'm about the closest thing.
Man versus Predator says, does making these videos help connect you with your families back home in Wisconsin? No. At first it really did because that was them seeing us, but now it's like they still watch all of our videos, but I call my parents every day. You know, we're FaceTiming Lindsay's parents, my parents, everybody all the time so they can see family and everything like that. So it's really the videos on YouTube and stuff isn't so much to connect with family as much as it began with. I mean, it still helps so they can see our adventures, but we connect with them more on a personal everyday basis now.
Let me tell you guys, anybody that's coming here from places like Wisconsin, New York, Boston, places north and cold, Chicago, when you come down here and you get acclimated and you start living here and some time goes by, When you go back home and you get to go up during Christmas time and, you know, when it's cold and there's snow, you're going to have a greater appreciation for snow and snowstorms after having lived down here than when you're living up there now and having to endure dealing with it.
Yep, I agree with that. Fasil says, how about stress level in Florida? And then Man vs. Predator answered him right after that. Move to Florida, reduce your stress. No snow is a big deal, and that's the truth. That's what we just talked about, you know? Last time I shoveled snow was the day before we moved. So that's great, you know?
I want to say one thing about that, Eric, is that does your stress go away completely? No. Look, if you got a stressful job, if you got problems with the kids at school, if you have stress is stress in those terms. But when you're looking out your window and you see palm trees swaying nicely and the weather is beautiful and you can go to the beach and you can go to the pool, it definitely makes those stresses more easy to deal with. 100%.
Some Jack says, what is the crime like in Florida? You know, that depends on where you're at. It's the same in any state. There's some areas that are bad crime, some areas that there's little to no crime. So it's really all about doing your research. I mean, if you asked about a specific area, we might be able to help you. But there's some areas where there's little to no crime, like we said, and some areas where the crime's really bad, just like anywhere.
There's places, I mean, if you do, and I don't want to, you know, throw names around, but like Riviera Beach is the murder capital of the world, right? So be careful. But there, if you live east in Riviera Beach on the ocean, you won't have a problem, right? Here in Boca Raton, I'm going to tell you right now, I would go walk in any part of Boca at any time of the day, at any time of the night, without worrying about it. That's the way I feel about it. So do your research, you know, check it out, scope it out. It's very important to go and spend more time in the area, not just what you read online or what your realtor tells you. You got to spend some time there if you really want to feel good about it.
Florida says, my family's the biggest issue for us. My parents didn't speak to me for 2 months because they were that angry about us moving. That's why I started my blog and to stay in touch with family. You know, that's what we started too. So, I mean, our family wasn't not talking to us, but
great
you
point.
know, to at least be able to share the moments with people, you know?
Great point. Listen, let me say one thing about that. That's a really excellent comment to make, because you are going to get pressure from family members. You'll get some people mad at you, not talking to you like that. That's not unheard of. It's your life. You need to do what you need to do. They will deal with it. They will get over it. And one thing I will say about it is, when you go to visit them and when they come to visit you, you are going to spend more time with them, more quality time with them in a shorter period of time, that you will have great memories and they'll be okay with it. You know, it's funny. I had a friend, he said to me when I told him I was thinking of moving out of here and moving to Charlotte, and my parents were giving me grief about moving to Charlotte. My friend said, hey, Terry, that's what they make airplanes for. That's what they make airplanes for, right? You got airplanes. You can be pretty much anywhere in a couple of hours. That's what they make airplanes for. Go, move, do it. Don't feel guilty. Go and enjoy your life and live your life.
Leon, yeah, you are late to the party. What'd you miss? Probably about 87 minutes worth of great info. So you're going to have to go back and watch it. I hope you're enjoying some of those good craft beers that you and I have been sharing back and forth. I know Terry enjoys them too. So maybe you got to connect with him and check out his channel. Again, guys, this is Barefoot Blogger. Check him out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All of his links are down below. So make sure you guys are checking them out. But Terry, I think I got to get to bed. How about you?
Really? Is Lindsay still in the shower?
No, she's not. She's making the kids go to bed.
A $500 water bill.
Yeah, thing is, I got to get up for work about 4:45 a.m. So definitely got to get to bed here pretty quick. So it was great hanging out with you guys. I mean,
thanks for having me on, guys. Listen, I love you guys all. Stay well, stay safe, and come down here. Get your butts down to Florida.
You got that right. But until then, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.